My name is Bacall, and I'm here to talk about my husband, Aaron Bacall. He was a cartoonist for many years, and we're having a reception here at the JCC on Thursday night, and his work will be shown March and April, so I would hope people come take a look. We have 90 cartoons that were sold and published in many magazines, including the New Yorker, Wall Street Journal, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Reader's Digest, and Harvard Library has his cartoons hanging, and I hope everyone will come and see his work. This is a picture of Aaron Bacall in his studio. He's got Mickey Mouse around him, as well as other cartoon items. He loved Mickey because it was so humorous. When Aaron and I were first dating, he was tall, dark, and handsome. As we were married, over time, he started to gain some weight. I used to hide cake and candy. He could always find it, no matter where it was. At one time, my mother, may she rest in peace, said, "I'm going to hide it and Aaron won't find it." So she put it in the hamper, and sure enough, he found it. So we have some cartoons here about weight. So I'd like to read them to you. Okay. Inside of me is a skinny person urging me to join a gym. That's when I sedate her with a slice of chocolate pie. The doctor is telling the patient, eat in moderation, drink in moderation, be merry all you want. This is one with a hip-hop physician. Put a halt on salt, cut back on fat. Are you down with that? This is one of my favorite cartoons. The ladies are reading the label. As I get older, I find myself reading all the food labels. I can use all the preservatives I can get. He had a bachelor's degree in science, and I could read the whole article, but it tells you all about his background and his achievements, and also tells how we met, which was very romantic. There was a dance in Brooklyn at the JCH on the roof, and he said when he saw me, it was love at first sight, and it was love for us our entire married life. In the whole world, there are about 200 cartoonists who actually get paid for their work, and many of them belong to the Cartoonist Society in New York. And the Master Eagle Gallery had an exhibit of these famous cartoonists, many from the New Yorker. Aaron was one of the cartoonists in the society. Corwin Press was after Aaron to publish books on education. I always encouraged him, and he was always a little reluctant. But finally, he published 5 books with Corwin Press using the title The Lighter Side. So we have The Lighter Side of Classroom Management, The Lighter Side of Staff Development, The Lighter Side of Technology in Education, The Lighter Side of Teaching, and finally, The Lighter Side of Educational Leadership. Now, as you can see, there are little tabs in this because people would buy the individual cartoons, and so he had them marked off and he would sell them as requested. These books were shown all over the country and sold at book fairs. Thousands of books were sold, and they're still sold to this day. In the summer, I got notice that Aaron was owed money by Condé Nast for cartoons that were sold. And I got a notice in September that he was owed money for cartoons that were sold. But I never got paid because I get residuals. I called them, they never responded. Finally, I was so frustrated that I contacted Channel 7. And Steve Livingstone called me. He is their producer, And he had Nina Pineda involved. She's a reporter on Channel 7, 7 on your side. And Steve got Condé Nast to finally pay, I think it was $414 that they owed for Aaron's cartoons. Of course, they denied that there was anything wrong with not paying me, but one of the reporters who were talking about our show on 7 on your side said, oh yes, she knew Aaron's cartoons because she read his books. And these are the books that she was talking about. In addition to books, Aaron also drew up a calendar, which I urged him to do. Again, he was a little reluctant to do it. And this is the lighter side, cartoons from the lighter side books. And this first one, the doctor is telling the woman, your heart is slightly larger than average, but that's because you're a real teacher. Another nice one inside, on Thanksgiving, the family is sitting around the table and the little boy is thinking, for the online homework helper, the spell check, and the grammar check, I am truly thankful. The woman teacher is talking to the male teacher. I can tell we're approaching winter recess. My briefcase is overflowing with Caribbean vacation brochures. Here is the lighter side of men and women. We have cartoons on many topics. As an example, here is a husband explaining to his wife, how was I supposed to know you were saving it for a special occasion, but it's clearly a wedding cake. He would also do the lighter side of kids. There was a lot of humor in children, and he would make up cartoons. He's wearing a shirt, Just Say No, K-N-O-W. I'm on the academic Olympic team. In addition, he loved making fun of pets, although we didn't have any, but he got a kick out of them. And here you have the cat watching the mouse hole, but there's also a camera watching the mouse hole. The woman is at the optometrist. She's got her cat and her glasses are on the counter. Please make the lenses scratch resistant. When Aaron was a little boy, he was too poor to afford pencils and paper. His father would bring home stubs. He was a furrier, and Aaron would rub the pencils on the sidewalk to get them sharp, and then father would bring home flyers and Aaron would draw on the back of the flyers. As I mentioned, his parents were very poor, so they were fighting a lot about money. So he used to draw funny little figures to make them laugh, and they always did, and they stopped fighting. So he got into this drawing. His mother used to put the figures in her apron pocket and save it because she was so proud of him. He was one of 3 children, but he was her favorite. Now, he used to go into basements of houses and cut out cartoons. So in my house, I have tons of books with cartoons of people, all different type of cartoonists. And he would get ideas for jokes and things like that. So I have all these books with other people's cartoons that would inspire him to draw. He started selling when he was 13 years old, and when I was married to him, he bought a beautiful desk, and his first sale, he made $10 after 6 months of trying. But I always encouraged him, and he kept on trying, and even though sometimes he didn't make it, many times he did. The check that he received was the pat on his head to say he was successful. He even got a letter from Governor Cuomo asking for a free cartoon, but he didn't do free, so he didn't get the cartoon. But he has given cartoons to favorite people of his. They're hanging in their offices, whoever he liked on Staten Island, and for friends. Another sweetie, that's Vicky from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn?
Yeah, from Brooklyn.
Now,
Her
everything.
son is here with her grandchildren. She's a babysitter. Her son is here.
Thank the art at the J Committee. They always spend a lot of time putting these wonderful exhibits. And I'd like to welcome Ms. Bacall, who is going to share with us a few things about her wonderful husband. I would like to extend special thanks to the family who came from Connecticut and all the friends and followers of Aaron. The exhibit will be here till the end of April, and if you could spread the word and invite, a lot of people couldn't be here tonight. So please welcome Linda.
I want to thank Ella for working with me to get this whole thing put together, because she's fantastic.
Thank you.
We had a lot of things going on, and everything was taken care of. As you know, I have wonderful super friends, and I appreciate that they came tonight. Sometimes not so easy to get here. I love them all, and they love me, I think. But the main thing is that you look at the cartoons, and if you laugh, Aaron will know. He'll be very happy, because that's what he wants. I've been filmed a lot for this exhibit, and we'll be on television tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Channel 1 possibly, if you get Time Warner Cable. He was here for an hour, but he said it'll be 2 minutes. So, you know, what can you do? And then Mike, who teaches ukulele, if you want to get ukulele lessons, he's filming us here. He's at the JCC as well. And I met him also at Staten Island Cable, which I learned a little bit about making your own video. So I did have a video, and I showed it a few weeks ago downstairs on a Thursday, and we had 40 cartoons on the video, and a lot of people laughed because they were quite funny.
I was there.
And was it you who read them out loud? Some people couldn't read too well, but somebody was reading them, and they enjoyed them. So the whole idea is when you laugh, that's a pat on the head to Aaron, because he only wanted to make people laugh. And he was a cartoonist from being a little boy. His parents were poor and they used to fight, then he would draw funny pictures and they would stop fighting. So that got him started with the cartoons. He knew he could make his parents laugh, and he did that, and then he started to sell the cartoons. When we were married, the first cartoon, he got $10 within 6 months. So he was sort of disappointed, and I always encouraged him. I said, you have a talent, you have a gift, and you have to use it. So over the years, he sold to the New Yorker, the Wall Street Journal, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Reader's Digest. He has cartoons hanging in Harvard. I think they were like $700 each or something like that. And to this day, he's got 2,000 cartoons in Cartoon Stock, which is in London. So if you look up the words Cartoon Stock, which is one word, and Aaron Bacall, and you have a lot of free time, 2,000 cartoons. No charge. Everything's free. Just like the books, in my house, I have thousands of books. So we put out, I should have brought more. We put out 3 tables of books, and they're all free. So please help yourself. I don't want to take them home. So I would appreciate that. And, Aaron was a poor person as a young man, and luckily when he and I were young, City College was free if you had the average. And Aaron was very bright, and his parents were not educated at all. They came from Europe, they're lucky they got away. But he went to City College, he got a degree in chemistry, got a master's at NYU in chemistry, and business administration also at NYU. And then he was working for Hoffman LaRoche for 7 years as a chemist, research chemist. And he saw that I was off Christmas, Easter, whatever. Said, I could draw more cartoons if I was a teacher. So he became a teacher at Clara Barton High School in Brooklyn for 25 years. I wouldn't say he was such a hard worker. He liked to have fun. And the kids loved him. He took attendance 3 times a day. At the beginning of the period, the middle, and at the end of the class. So they said, why do you take it so many times? I want to make sure you're still here. So it filled a lot of time in the 40 minutes. But, he loved to draw. He loved to sell his work. And then, because he was home drawing, as many artists do, he didn't want to go out. So I would go out, and I made all these wonderful friends. I traveled all over the world. And he said, why do I have to go? I have everything here in the house. I don't have to leave the house. So that's what happened. So my friends used to call and talk to him. All my friends loved him because he was such an entertaining person. They would laugh. They would talk for an hour. He knew something about everything. And they just felt happy. And then if they met him outside, he always had a story, a funny story, things that happened. And he kept everybody happy. Unfortunately, he wasn't well, and he passed away in June. He was 76 years old, and it's a big loss for me, but if I can have people using his cartoons, enjoying his cartoons, that does it for me. So I hope that you'll look at Cartoon Stock, or you can look at the Wall Street Journal, the New Yorker has a website, and they have 100 of his cartoons, and enjoy. And I hope everybody here will enjoy the cartoons.
Mr. Aaron would like to say a few words about his wonderful father. Please welcome. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. I'll be brief. Obviously growing up in the home, my dad, he was hysterical. He would make everybody that would come over laugh. He would regale people with stories for hours. And it was just a lot of laughter in my home growing up. And as an adult, I really don't find that many people funny because compared to him, they really aren't. As far as the cartoons, he really had a gift because a lot of people can come up with a funny joke, and a lot of people can draw, but very few people can do both. And he was a chemist and a teacher, and he would do a lot of chemistry journal books, cartoons, which very few people could do. And he would do jokes for teachers' meetings and things like that. Those were the things that he knew. But my dad could do a joke about any topic. He was called by the NFL, and they asked him to do cartoons about football. And they said to him, do you know about football? And he said, absolutely. And he said to me, Darren, I've never watched a football game in my life. Tell me about it. My dad hated sports, and the exact same thing happened with NASCAR. He said, Darren, what is NASCAR? He didn't even know what it was, but he could come up with a joke about any topic. And just to end on this note, my dad, as you could see, sold a lot of cartoons, and they were reprints. He sold thousands and thousands of cartoons through his life, and obviously made money off of it. But the money never meant anything to him. What meant something to him was that he took a pen and took it to paper, and he made something funny, and he made somebody smile or laugh, and they wanted that work of art from him. And that's really what meant something to him. So if you go around this room, like my mom said, and you get a smile or a chuckle, that's what he would want. So thank you guys for coming.